Build, what is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte, and we are here at the Build Studios in New York City. Our next guest has got a lot going on. Her new show, Whiskey Cavalier, just got picked up and is going to be coming soon to ABC. She stars in the new Peter Berg film, Mile 22, which hits theaters hard August 17th. And if the recent Walking Dead trailer out of Comic-Con is to be believed, Maggie finally has the damn baby. So yeah, there's a lot going on. There is much to discuss, my friends. I'm so excited she's here. Please make some noise. The great Lauren Cohan is in the house. How do you feel about that? Huh? How do we feel about Lauren? All right. I was waiting for the woo. That was perfect. That's how I feel. We're going to bring her out in just a second. But as I said, much to discuss here. Before we get into it, I believe we have the trailer for Mile 22. So let's go ahead and run that clip. Let's take a look.
Father Child 1, we got motorcycles on our ass. I need a new vehicle ASAP. On your left!
This is an Overwatch operation. Our team is engaged in a higher form of patriotism.
Gun.
It's not a military operation. The goal is to complete the mission at any cost.
We did a week on a beach.
You're never gonna do something normal until you die. That's what this job is.
I'm not you.
You're pretty close. Besides, this is my beach. Feel the sand between my toes.
Sir, you have a walk-in.
Who is he?
That's my asset. Local Special Forces.
Send him to medical to see if he's who he says he is.
What is your name?
Lee Nur.
Are you involved in acts of espionage?
Yes. I have information that proves my government is planning an attack on the United States. You have no idea how evil my government is. Put me on a plane to the US and I'll give you everything.
Let's take a drive.
You're going up against this country's elite tactical squads.
I need him back right now.
No one ever enters a war thinking they will lose. But one side is always wrong.
I'm gonna give you some advice. You ready? Stop.
We're on the move. They miss that plane, we have failed. They miss that plane, they are dead. Child 1, expect company.
Failure is not an option. We get him out, we save millions of lives. Requesting hand of God.
Coming down.
Damn, ladies and gentlemen, Lauren Cohan right here. Make some noise. That trailer. I got a chance to see the movie yesterday, guys. That trailer is like tip of the iceberg. It is incredible. Congratulations on this crazy movie, this crazy ride. What a film. We're going to talk all about it. I'm excited to talk about it. We're going to get into it, but I'm very happy you're here. First and foremost, how are you doing? How is Lauren? How are you doing with everything right now, going around, talking about this, the press, the whole nine? What's life like for you right now?
It's really good. It's good. I get to be in New York for 2 days. I've got... you know, it's funny, even watching the trailer, I get excited about the movie every single time. And I was just sort of like, you know, I'm just really proud of this. I'm really proud of Walking Dead. I'm just, yeah, I guess I'm in a good spot. I'm having a lot of good conversations.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad. I hope we add to that collection of great conversations.
You will. No pressure.
I think we're going, yeah, no pressure whatsoever. Yeah. Speaking of a lot of fun, not too long ago, you were just at Comic-Con and you were having a great time. What is that experience like for you? Do you get to walk around and observe anything? Is it impossible because of the position you're in? Do you get mobbed? What's Comic-Con like from your...
I think if we can go in disguises, it's obviously a bit more navigation possible. Yeah. But no, we're also like really pretty busy when we're at Comic-Con in terms of like we're doing our panel, we're meeting fans, we're having autograph sessions, and then we're doing a bunch of press as well. And so we're definitely kept busy. We sleep well at the end of the weekend. I'll put it that way.
Delivering pizzas, apparently. I saw a post you made.
Wasn't that fun?
That was hilarious. We had Denai was here around Black Panther, coolest person in the world.
Yes.
Whose idea was it to randomly for context, for those who don't know, they delivered pizzas randomly to somebody's hotel room at Comic-Con. Denai and Lauren here. Whose idea was that? How did that come about?
We were in the elevator, and this guy got in, and he went, "Whoa, hey!" And I said, "Hi, do you want to?" Or he said something, and then I said, "Do you want to take a picture?" And he said, "That would be awesome." And he was holding these 2 really hot pizzas, and then he put his phone down, and he goes, "Oh my God, my wife's gonna kill me." And I was like, "Well, what room is she in?" And he said, "Well, what do you mean?" And then I was like, "Well, let's go see her," like this. And then on the way in, we were just like, kind of like, took a pizza each.
Oh, that's really sweet. So
it was really fun.
He was bringing the pizzas back to the room.
To the room, yeah.
And then you guys were like, let's just bring it back with you.
Because it is that thing of like, you meet someone and they're just like, "Oh my God, my husband or my boyfriend or my mom's such a big fan too." And then you're like, well, let's not have them look at the picture and say, "I wish I could have also been in the elevator."
Of course.
Let's just go and...
And in that moment, why not make that dream come true? It's way more possible. You're already on the elevator.
We're there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
It was
That's
fun.
really sweet. I'm glad I asked that. I didn't get that context.
No, good.
I just thought it was a fun thing that you guys were doing. You're delivering pizzas and you happen to show up. All right. Well, that's very cool. That's really
Stealing
fun.
the pizzas. No, just kidding.
Yeah, right? Somebody else's pizza never came. But that's really cool. I'm happy to hear that you're having a lot of fun doing this and you're in a great place. Let's talk about part of why that is this film. How did you get involved? How did you get into this project and a part of this world? Because this is something.
It is. It's something. And I love Peter Berg's films. And when I had an opportunity to audition for this one, it was kind of like a lot of other things. I made an audition tape and then got good feedback to the tape. It was really simple. It was like, Pete likes her tape. Could she meet? Because they were already going to be then in Atlanta doing the recce basically for the movie, finding the locations and everything. So I went to have a cup of tea with him, and during the course of that sit down, basically, he was like, "Well, are you available from this day to this day?" And I was like, yeah. Okay. And then it was the most sort of seamless, hit the ground running process, like from start to finish. Because from then on, it was just, it was really... Seamless is my favorite word. It was easy breezy, becoming a part of that, and then working with Pete and with Mark. It was fun. I mean, I really felt like I just got to just be enveloped into that world and go and create something really fun and awesome.
Well, you can tell. I mean, I think that reads in the performance and just in everybody's faces as you're going through these things. Pete and Mark, historically, very much, it's important to them that a lot of the effects happen in camera. They happen on set, and that you guys are super prepped. But I want to talk about all of that. I want to talk about the vibe on set. But let's start at the very beginning. I read that you guys had like some intensive training with like some CIA operative, like what's the word I'm looking for? Consultants,
with
like
consultants,
experts.
with Navy SEALs, with a lot of people from ground with experience in ground branch. It was really we were within the fabric of that, making this film. And as Pete always is with his movies, it's authentic stories about characters that we don't always get a window into. And it was fun for us to do this really tightly packed, fun character story that is based on real characters, but it's not a true story. And so I know definitely for Pete and Mark, it was fun to have something, to not be completely beholden to facts, because it is a fun movie. I mean, it's like, it's a smart, you and I were just talking about it before I came out. It's just, it's a ride, and it's a mile 22 ride.
Yeah, it is. You feel every mile of the 22-mile journey.
Yes.
And it's smart too. It is a crazy, intense action film. But like I was saying back there, that it doesn't assume a low intelligence of the audience. No, it assumes that you're in for this to win it. You're in it for the ride, and you got to follow closely, especially in the first beginning, because the payoff at the end is phenomenal in all those different layers. What was when you were reading the script and just getting an idea of how the story and all these different elements and layers and how they unfold, what was your reaction to that?
I knew I knew there was so much more to learn, and that there was just a huge breadth of research on this world. And that it was going to be really a case of suiting up to do the movie. What I didn't quite expect, and what I was so delighted to have, was a really funny experience and a fun experience, because these characters they're so extreme that, you know, they have these like breaking moments with each other, and we definitely have those kind of breaking moments on set, and they're funny. I mean, when you have a job with that much responsibility, which is basically getting tasks done that most of us, I definitely wasn't even aware of, you know. This idea of the third option is real. We have diplomacy, we have warfare, and then when those things don't work out, you send in a team like ours who does things behind the scene to prevent world disasters, huge, crazy terrorist activities and things that, you know, it's a valuable and anonymous and very, very secret organization. So that's why we're making a big movie about it, to expose it. I'm just kidding.
Just blow the lid off of this whole thing. No, well, you're right, though, in that it's fun for Peter and Mark, because they're not sort of beholden to that responsibility of telling a real individual story of like a tragic story or a triumphant story.
Yeah.
This is them sort of just in this playground, playing with elements that are real, talking to people that have experience doing this, but creating a scenario where you guys can kind of just, as actors, go nuts, have fun with it, develop these characters, develop these stories.
And they always do such a good job of Peter and Mark of doing of telling the everyman story, like these quieter moments that the hero, you know what I mean? And it's
What was the training experience, the thing that you guys went through with the ground crew and all that stuff? And how does that compare to some of the prep work and training you've done for action in the past? Because you guys are firing massive weapons in this. There's bombs going off and set around you and stuff like that.
lots of realignment of yourself afterwards, because you have, it's the great thing about the movie is how it combines all these different fight techniques, which is what these characters are about. You know, they're multilingual, they can really appropriate themselves in many different environments, and they can fight in many different ways. And we have that shown, you know, with Iko's fight style, which is silat, which is insane. I mean, he really is a young Bruce Lee. And then with what Mark does, and then with what Rhonda does, and then with what my character does in the movie, they're prepared to use the weapons, and you sometimes kind of laden with your backpack is 7 different weapons, but when it comes down to it, like, what can you do with your bare hands? What can you do when you're backed into a corner? Because it does, the movie goes into these animalistic, really scary places of self-defense.
We saw it in the trailer. You stab a dude in the jaw with a shard of a non-zombie, mind you. This is a dude, and like, film is in the world of action movies. It is the best kind of like intense and brutal and just so crazy to watch you guys pull these things off. Iko, by the way, from The Raid. I don't know if you guys are familiar with. So
thank you.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen in this movie. Then you get Iko in it. I imagine. So you guys have all this heavy artillery. It's Mark Wahlberg. It's Iko. It's Ronda Rousey. You guys. I just picture all of you like these really tough people sitting around. Like I see the scene from Jaws where they're all trading scars, just like talking about.
It's also it's like this case of like, how can we make that dirtier? How can we make that rougher and scrappier and everything? And that's what Pete wanted to do from the beginning, is take this like, you know, take the shine off of it and keep everybody sort of, these characters are really entrenched in some dark brain matter, you know, and they are just, I don't want to spoil the movie. It's awesome.
No, you definitely don't want to spoil it. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of layers. You mentioned early on, I think they did some shooting in Atlanta, but you guys were in Colombia, right? Mm-hmm. What was that like?
Amazing.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah. We didn't start. We started in Atlanta, and then we moved to Bogota for the second half of the shoot, and we were able to be in the streets, really in the center, like in the Times Square of Colombia, basically. Wow. Incredibly gracious, you know, our caretakers, and the president of Colombia came and filmed part of the movie. You know, there's these shots of him with a camera. It was great.
I've never been. I always wanted to go and say. Did you get a chance when you guys in between sets? Did you get a chance to explore or see any?
We explored to a degree. We actually did more exploring while we were filming, because so much of it's a road movie, and where there's a lot of stop offs. But we definitely got a chance to tear through these mountainous roads and through the whole country. And then I went back on vacation last week to Cartagena because I love Colombia so much. So yeah.
It's pretty amazing. We're the clock's running down. We're going to turn it over to the audience in a little bit, but before we do, I wanted to make sure we talked briefly about as well another CIA character that you're playing later this year. Bit of a different tone.
Yes.
Whiskey Cavalier. Cavalier. Sorry, our other moderator's name is Ricky Camilleri. So every time I go to say the title of this show, I'm like, Whiskey Camilleri. I'm like, no, that's not the name. It's Whiskey Cavalier.
Yeah.
And so I think before we jump into that, we do have a trailer for that. So let's go ahead and take a look at that show, and then we'll talk a little bit about that.
Okay, amazing.
Whiskey Cavalier, you're one of our best agents. You're high of intelligence. He's proven to be a huge asset to the Bureau. You and your fiancée recently parted ways.
Yes, we did. It was mutual. Mostly from her side. But I'm totally fine with it.
We have the footage.
That was a private moment.
This is the FBI. There are no private moments. I got something for you. Edgar Standish. Russians grabbed him up at the Hague airport. Bring him back to Paris within 48 hours.
Yes, sir.
Any sign of the target?
Negative.
What is your pleasure?
Bourbon.
I'll have the same.
Dude, you get rid of her.
Sorry, I just broke up with my boyfriend.
Agent, do not empathize.
You spend all that time with someone, you think you know them.
Trust me, I know.
I know you know.
Target's been compromised.
How?
I got sandbagged by the CIA operative. She's relentless.
How's everything going in Moscow?
Not great.
As one professional to another, I should probably apologize. You shouldn't have taken an assignment in your condition.
What condition?
All heartbroken over Gigi.
Oh, yeah. We saw that, too.
So young and complicated.
This is so CIA. Trigger-happy cowboys who run around like Rambo without a jockstrap.
button-down Boy Scouts.
A lot of sexual tension in the car.
It's been a pleasure.
I wish I could say the same.
This is an FBI operation now.
Yeah, your target's getting away.
I'm not too worried.
Fine. Coming back.
Codename Fiery Tribune. She's got the highest killer capture rate of any spy at the CIA.
Well, it's a good thing I shook her. Micro tracker.
We have all the closed toys.
See, and I thought we were just having a tender moment. That's my gun, by the way. Well done.
You too.
I believe in love. I know that I'm a better person and a better agent because of it. They just look so happy, don't they?
You want to stick around? Maybe catch the bouquet?
No, we don't have time. I mean... As of today, we are all officially working together.
As a team.
Led by me.
Oh, man, I can't wait for that. We can make some noise for that. That looks so good. I was just saying, watching it, that's like right in my wheelhouse. I love the vibe of that show from that trailer. I believe everything I read on the internet, like most people. And I saw a thing that I said, doing my research, I saw a thing that had said that you were in high demand this year when a lot of stuff was coming around, so you were getting a lot of different offers. And so if that's true, if you were getting a ton of offers, it's not hard to believe that you'd be in high demand. What drew you to this project? What made you say, this is the one? This is what I want to work on?
It made me laugh so much from the script. It's like, I mean, you guys could see I was sitting here laughing at the trailer that I've seen already. And just fun. I knew... I don't know. I knew it was going to be a good time. I knew it was going to be a chance for me to explore different things. And she's a smart character. The characters in it are smart, and they're human and real, and kind of, Frankie especially. She's just kind of like the steely woman, but just like, she's fun to sort of unravel. And I get to play. Honestly, she's sort of the cynical dude in the film, and then the guys are really emotional and kind of everybody's great at their jobs and hopeless in life, and I just feel like that's I don't know, just fun, so different.
I also love this sort of like pantheon of badass characters that you're just constructing and building right now. Like all of these characters have this little like badass like seasoning sprinkled over them, and like you do all these really cool things, but they're layered. This is it's a CIA agent, but it's a very different character than Alice and what you're playing in Mile 22, and it's a very different experience. You said that it made you laugh. I asked you this backstage. I'll ask you again. Was it something you were looking for? Is it a relief to not be covered in dirt, running around all the time, telling a joke once in a while? Is it nice?
I don't think I even thought, oh, I want to run towards something comedic. I just felt like I got to read a bunch of scripts, and I'm really lucky. I haven't had to close the door on things at the moment. Like my Walking Dead story is open, and we sort of are going to, we'll see. And
you can say.
And then when I read it, I just thought, this is. I don't really think in terms of genre. I just think in terms of. I don't even want to say that I think in terms of like women that are interesting. Like it clicks for me if she's dynamic and she's we've all got so many pots boiling. You know what I mean? And that's what people on television and in movies should have. It's like it's just the human experience. So I feel like I was drawn to. Yeah, and then I love doing fight stuff. So
fight stuff. Well, that's just it. It's always fun to see because, like, I imagine through your years on The Walking Dead and whatnot, you've picked up. I mean, you already had a bunch of skills. I forgot what project it was you learned. I want to say it was like archery for something or no? What?
One of the first movies
one of the
that
first
I
things
did.
you ever did.
Fencing
so,
for the second one.
Fencing. That was the one, right? And it's just like over the years you acquire like all these crazy skills, and like I can't even imagine the skills you pick up working on Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's fun to kind of watch you I imagine learn some new stuff like in Mile 22, but also get to apply that physicality into these roles and get to play with all these things that you've sort of learned over the years. And
yeah, in Mile 22, it's the most immersive physicality pertaining to a character for sure. And I felt really privileged to learn from people who'd lived those lives and who still live those lives in some cases. And yeah, I mean, the greatest takeaway for me was that you sort of have to get it so that you can forget it, because it's got to be second nature. It's just these are just kind of extra appendages, whether it be your fight style, your languages, your skill set, these characters have, a portfolio of necessities to survive and to get this.
And it takes them a lifetime to get there, and they're like, you got 3 weeks and then we're going to be hitting the set, so if you could just focus on this and really nail it, I'd appreciate it. It's wild. You guys pull it off. It's so cool. There was something I wanted to ask you while you were talking about that, but all right, we'll get into we got to go to the audience in a little bit anyways. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask and I know you can't really say anything about Walking Dead, but we're going to try. I'm going to ask you a question.
Say a little.
You can say a little bit. We saw in the trailer that recently came out, we see the baby finally. Was that your reaction when you got finally, here's the baby? Because I know it's been a while. Yeah. We've been waiting for this baby. Yeah. So were you excited to see, here's the baby? There we go.
I was excited because the time can go very, we can spend a couple seasons in a really short space of time, as people know. And this season it's like, and we go suddenly 12 years, a couple of years later.
There's some fan wiki that's like, the new season's 12 years into the future. I just heard it. She just said it. It's
happened.
No, guys, calm down. I just misspoke. It's a couple of years.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
But there's like a bunch of just psychological advancement for everybody too. I mean, it's just like having the baby, and then how we've had to change as people, and definitely how Maggie has to change in her leadership position. And it's good. I mean, this is a huge like cannonball blast of a season. It's really, really, really big, and we're excited.
Is that hard as an actor, especially when you've been on the show for a couple of seasons now, and even though it's a modified, it's not real time, it's a modified timeline, but you're used to moving at a certain pace, you've been developing the character at a certain pace, and now it's like, okay, you have to cram X amount of months or years of stuff that's happened to Maggie into it happened off camera, and we're going to talk about it, but you have to just be there now, go. You're this person.
It's easier to have a time jump because it feels like you can prepare more in the way that you could for a film, because in so many ways, the secrecy isn't just for fans and audiences with Walking Dead. There's a lot that's kept under wrap to us as, things are kind of revealed slowly as we go through the series. And so when we knew we were having this time jump, and when we knew that that symbolized a big change for us as people in our mindsets. It gave me a lot more time to explore where Maggie was at now and everything she'd been through to date and what that where that kind of planted her from this point. So it actually was this beautiful kind of time to digest everything that has been so far.
Super cool. All right. Well, I keep saying it. I'm a man of my word. We're going to go to the audience, but here's the last thing I will remind everybody at home. August 17th, Mile 22 is out there. You got to see it. It's a crazy ride. What is it? This fall, we should look out for Whiskey Cavalier?
I think it's going to be in the winter.
It's going to be in the winter? Well, we'll see. It's coming soon to ABC. Yep. Keep an eye out for Whiskey Cavalier. I'm not going to tell you when to watch Walking Dead. You already know exactly when that's going to happen, so go ahead. Keep your eyes out. Let's go ahead and turn it over to the audience. We got some microphones in the room. First one's right here.
Hi. How did your experience on Mile 22 and working alongside Eco always help you with your stunt work on Whiskey Cavalier?
I think that the training for Mile 22 was really in depth. We also had Ryan Watson, who trained Gal for Wonder Woman, do a lot of fight choreography for, there's the hand-to-hand combat stuff, and then Eco choreographs a lot of parts of the Eco thing, but then where everything crosses is awesome. I feel like I've used the word awesome so much already this morning, but Eco's awesome. I mean, he's so, as you can see, he's really intensely strong and talented, but he's just a beautiful person. He's like a beautifully spiritual person, and don't like even play fight with him. There's some kind of strange strength that goes like beyond bone and muscle, and yeah, he's really, he's incredible. You guys are gonna be blown away with the fight stuff in this movie, especially if you already know him. It's like, yeah. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from Eco and from Rhonda and from Mark and from everybody who has a lot more experience in that specific kind of fighting realm. So it was fun. It was summer camp.
I remember the question I forgot earlier. We were talking about the two
good.
projects. It was similar to this in that, what was the timeline in terms of working on these? Was there overlap? Were you having to juggle between both of them?
It was a 3-day jump. So basically, we finished Walking Dead the day before Thanksgiving, and then the Monday after Thanksgiving, we started, and we were in Atlanta as well to start Mile 22. So yeah, I'd been doing my Mile 22 training all the last month of our season, and it was busy.
When you got to Whiskey after Mile 22, where they were like, whoa, tone it down. That's really good. That's really cool and intense, but we're going to make a lot of jokes over here. Like, were you prepared for a different level of CIA operative when you walked into Whiskey?
I think in a way, yes, but also like, which is what happens in Mile 22, the more exacting and intense people are in the fighting and in the violence, the more great the comic relief is. And so the moments in Mile 22 that are funny are like, they're so funny because it's so intense otherwise. So it feels like I love seeing a movie where you have this precision of technique and skill, and it's fast. And you can like barely keep up with like what's happening and how things are going in the best sense. Like
Yeah, you feel like you're on the ride. Yeah, as much as you can, sitting in a theater in a dark room, you feel like you're a part of all the craziness that's happening there.
Right.
Because you're just trying to keep up. It's so good. We got 2 more. Let's do it. The next one's going to be right here.
Hello.
Hi.
So I was wondering if you, since obviously Whiskey Cavalier and Mile 22 are more real action, I guess I would say, and Walking Dead is more fantasy action, I was wondering if you had a preference over which kind of world you like to work in more.
That's a great question. I had wonderful advice on Mile 22, which was that the heart of the fight is what really makes it compelling. And I think that's what I definitely got to hone on this film, because it's connecting to somebody who's really, truly scraping their way out of an otherwise seemingly hopeless situation that makes it compelling. And that's what makes it compelling for me as an actor, is to bring the emotion to the fight and to bring the emotion to the fighters in the movie. You know, Alice is a mother who really wants to be able to be with her child, but has these grave responsibilities to her country that she cannot just turn her back on. So the place where they meet and the place where they push and pull from each other, those two requirements, is intense and satisfying.
Thank you for that. Great question. We've got one more. It's going to be right. There you are.
Hello.
Hi, Lauren. It's so trippy to see you not on my laptop screen. Thank you for being here. My question for you is two quick things. One, what is it like with the transitioning from film to television? And two, as an actress, what skill have you had to rely on the most in dealing with like how hectic your schedule is with like all of these different projects and then the traveling? Like, what have you had to rely on the most?
I think I have a really good group of friends and mentors that I am not afraid to call and to lean on, even just to say, just to get out of my own head, honestly. Like, that's the biggest thing, because you do stuff like this or you do movies, and in acting, you really can get out of your own head and lose yourself. But doing this whole thing, you know, it's good to keep the perspective and to shake it off. And I think friends, honestly, is the way to do it. And then I forgot the first part of your question. It was, transitioning. That kind of speaks maybe to the same thing. It's just I just try to feel like at the end of the day, like for any of us, it's still me just going through every one of those experiences. And so how do I keep me sane and calm and grounded and grateful? And I think that grateful is the most important thing. It's just, you know, I get to be here doing this, and then this is over. So do I want to turn around and say, should have, could have, would have, or do I want to say, that was exactly as I wanted it to be, and what did I learn and gain from that and from the people that I was with? So I guess that's a overarching life rule as well as everything else. Yeah, thank you. That's a good question.
Thank you for your question. That was wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for your questions.
Thanks, guys.
Being an awesome audience. Yeah, you earned that. 100%. And thank you, Lauren. I mean, we're grateful that you came and hung out with us for a little bit. It's so cool to have you here. It is surreal to not see her on a laptop screen, isn't it? Yeah. It is. It's really awesome to have you here with us to talk about all these amazing projects. Congratulations on everything you've been doing. I'll remind the world, August 17th, Mile 22. Keep an eye out for Whiskey Cavalier and Walking Dead, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, please make a ridiculous amount of noise. Lauren Cohan, right here. Right here. Come on.